What's up, guys? It's Joe from SFIF. So I'm doing a little bit of experimenting today. I'm trying to shoot this entire video with a cell phone. Now, you might say, well, you're definitely going to say, what's the big deal, Joe? We all shoot our videos with our cell phones. What's new? Okay. I understand that totally, but I don't. You know, I have one of these in my hand kind of 24 hours a day. So yes, you can't match the optical lenses and the professional body, pro body, video, photography, all that stuff for these cameras, but we're all using cell phones. But there is a way for you to use your cell phone and still kind of work some things around it to still give you a professional quality video, especially if you're looking to get a lot of good B-roll detail of the swords or knives or blades and things that you're recording. Now, I don't know what this looks like yet because I'm still shooting it, so I don't know what it's going to look like when I have to edit it and this and the other thing. But yes, you start with your cell phone. You got to have pro lighting. You got to have good lighting, good even lighting. I know I'm getting a little shadow on my cat, but whatever. But you got to have pro lighting, okay? You can't really frame the picture as you want to with a camera, but it works well. Quality is pretty good. And if you can, shoot in 4K on your cell phone so you have better quality coming in. And you're able to kind of downscale to 1080 if you're looking to put it out like that, or, you know, I digress, but you can do something like that with the quality as far as what you're recording on. You also need to have good sound, okay? I actually have this microphone right here hooked up with a wire to the cell phone. It's a podcast mic, so at least the sound is vivid, it's direct, and it's not, you know, bouncing off the walls and all that. And I'm hoping it comes out good because, again, I don't know what it sounds like. I did some testing, you know, but it sounded okay. So we'll see what the sound is like. And you got to have professional stabilization systems. You can't be hand-holding your camera, shooting the swords and things like that. So you got to have one of these things. Basically, you have a professional tripod and you have an actual slider, okay, that actually you can mount the phone on top of here with the right harnesses, and you can basically use smooth sliding motions in order to get the whole length of the sword or big knife or whatever you're shooting, so everything is a stable picture. So the motion of the camera, in addition to basically the sound and lighting and all that, will give you a pretty good quality picture. Is it going to be the same optics as a pro camera? Probably not. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this comes out, but just a little experimenting to see what I can do with a cell phone using implementing other professional equipment, you know, with the cell phone to see if I can come out with a good detailed katana review. I'm not going to make it a habit because I like using my stuff, but I have a certain look that I want to go for. But just to show you basically what you can do with a cell phone if you have the right equipment to work around. And most importantly, guys, you need to edit your videos. You need to clean them up. I mean, I'm probably going to end up like color correcting all of the images and things like that, and, you know, fixing the contrast issues that you get with the cell phones and all that, the picture quality. But you need to edit it. You need to put it into an editing platform, clean it up, make it look polished, add some titling, and then you implement the editing with all the work you did in the production. You're going to have a very pro style type of video with your cell phone. Nothing new. I know a lot of people use their cell phones and they edit them, and they do that kind of stuff, but I figure I'll get it out there, you know, give you guys a challenge to see if you guys can make your videos better with your cell phones. Okay, guys, this is the Seiryu. Okay, this is the Seiryu Katana, which is actually translated into Blue Dragon. It's a funny story how we got this name. This as far as an hour ago, this sword basically did not have a name. So after speaking to John from RVA Katana and consulting with his wife, who is native in Japanese, we came up with calling it Blue Dragon, which is Seiryu. Okay, you'll see it on the screen there, but that's going to be the name of this katana moving forward. Thank you, John, and thank you to your wife for a lot of funny back and forth messages we had in trying to figure out a name and the right translation in Japanese for this sword. So it's the Seiryu. I probably mispronounced it, but that's the best I can do. All right, so guys, what's been constant with all the Cloudhammer swords that I reviewed is a really well done ska or handle or suka, however you want to call it. The Ito is of, you know, really good quality. The Manuki actually on this one is pretty nice. It's a nice, a very visible dragon style. This is all dragon crochet around this entire sword, all the pieces, the Suba, the Fuchi, really well done. But getting to the Ito, the diamonds are fairly even. The Ito is the Ito is also always tight on all the katanas. You have this beautiful jacket leather type of wrap, which is very, very comfortable to hold. I would prefer more of a slimmer type of ska, but for the most part, I think it is comfortable to hold and to manage. It stays in your hand, a very nice firm grip, and it always helps to have a really tight Ito wrap. Now, if you go to the Kashida is so freaking badass, guys. I mean, if I can get a close-up look on this one, it's actually a lion's face here on the Kashida. Really, really mad cool, I gotta say. Really nice detail on this Kashida piece. The transitions are done pretty damn good compared to other swords that I've tested from them. The knot it's constantly tight, but it's some nice transitions. There's no lips or nothing I could get my fingernail in. So I think they did a really nice job with this Kashida. There's epoxy on it. It doesn't move. Very nice. Then you got the Fuchi. Fuchi has a little bit of a fingernail lip that you can kind of get in there a little, more than I would like to. I would want to see this ultimately kind of blend into the Ito a little bit more. I think they need to do something with their pieces to kind of shrink them down to the size of a ska, so it kind of transitions to the Ito a little bit better. Just will make for, an overall better quality sword. Always on one side is smooth, and on one side it's you can kind of get a fingernail in. So just to show you that the Fuchi is pretty much not sized perfectly or well enough to fit how they kind of put their skas together. But the details on it are really, really nice. You got, I think, a dragon, it's like, I think like dragon fire or something like that. But the details are beautiful. I really like how their moldings and their castings is a constant on all their swords. They do a really good job with it. The Suba equally is nice. Really nice detail of the dragon. You kind of spin this thing around and kind of tells a story. I like the solid brass feel and look and size of this particular Suba. I think it's a perfect size for a sword. It keeps the sword very balanced in the hand. This is a very, very balanced sword, and I just like the look and the feel and the overall appearance of this Suba and all this koshiri, this dragon style koshiri that's around the entire sword. Really, really well done. You have the end piece here on the saya. There's a little bit, a little bit of lip, a little bit some sharp edges here that you can kind of, maybe dig into your skin, but you're not really handling this that much, so it doesn't bother me. But it doesn't move. It's placed and very cleanly onto the saya for the most part. It could have been done a little bit better. There's a couple little gaps here, but it adds for just a really nice appearance to an otherwise, naked or just a bullhorn at the kojiri, to have this type of piece, almost like a tachi type of piece at the end of the saya. The saya itself, it's got it's a black saya, not really a fingerprint mounted, but equally as lustrous, and it's got like a speckled gray, finish, which is really cool. And when it catches in the light, it looks really, really beautiful. I like this type of saya. Nothing that original, but again, for the execution they made on it is really nice. You can see how it kind of sparkles in the light as you move it around, and I like the slender look. Of this saya from the side. It doesn't promote any sword rattle whatsoever. This has a really, really nice fit of the blade into the saya, which I always prefer to have that. And it's got it's kind of like a distal taper. Okay, it's a slender type of saya, and it looks like it's fitted really, really nicely on the blade. Really nice paint finish. You don't see any lines or anything like that. It's just, it's a very, their paint jobs and their varnishing and how they make their sayas, they pretty much never failed to impress me in terms of keeping them at pretty good quality. Okay, this particular blade, guys, it's you can see how it's shining and catching the light. Really beautiful polishing work on this blade. It is a 51 CRV4 German Spring Steel. It's a true hardened blade. I've cut with this blade, with this type of steel before on a Year of the Tiger Katana. Really, really nice cutting performance. It took a pretty nice sharp edge when I put onto it. Basically, being a spring steel, it can kind of spring. It can take a bend and spring right back into shape again. So if you have any bad cuts, being it's true hardened and spring steel, this can be a very good beginner's type of steel for someone who's learning how to swing or just wants to have a sword that can kind of take the bend and not break. But you can see basically how it catches the light and how beautiful the polishing work is on this blade. Yeah, it's kind of sparkling and dazzling, guys. I really love the polishing work, especially on these polished blades. They really catch the light really, really nicely. Now, this particular blade actually has a zero grind on this blade, and that means it has a it's sharpened with a secondary bevel, and it has kind of like a convex edge. You can see in the close-ups there where you can see the actual secondary bevel there. They did that on purpose to basically give you a pretty sharp sword out of the box, just kind of ready for cutting. So I guess, you know, like the good thing about Cloudhammer, guys, is that they experiment. They experiment with different types of steels. They experiment with doing different types of grinds and sharpness levels and harmons and differentially hardened and through hardens. So they do experiment a lot. So they try to kind of give you a zero grind blade to give you that really nice, robust, convex edge, which is, you know, a lot of us who kind of sharpen our blades know that we're not strangers to that. When we sharpen our blades, we kind of give it a convex edge for the most part. So it's something that we, you know, us sword owners that use our swords and cut with our swords, that we're kind of accustomed to. Koiguchi on this sword is done pretty well. The wood looks pretty good. The cutouts are pretty good. There's no breaks in the wood or anything like that. I think they did a pretty nice job in kind of making up this Koiguchi, the mount, and it fits, you know, obviously really good, as all their swords. They fit very well into the sires for the most part. Everything kind of glides in pretty well, locks into place. This has pretty good tension, just like all the other swords, and it's also very easy to come out. If you're looking to use Noto or Yaido or anything like that, it's going to be a really easy sword for you to train with and practice with, because it has a nice fit, and it's very easy to kind of come out of place and use in your practicing with your katana. The habaki is a typical brass habaki. The normal, you know, lips, you know, that I have been complaining about, if they can kind of tighten up the habaki so there's no space between the blade and the habaki itself, that's kind of been addressed, and I think they're going to kind of be working on that to fix that. I wouldn't even call it a problem, but fix that kind of aesthetic thing to kind of make sure the habaki fits into place, fits onto the blade, and it hugs it a little bit better. There is some black marks on this habaki that you can kind of get out with a brass cleaner, but for the most part, it's clean. It fits into place. It doesn't rattle. So habaki is pretty standard, but pretty well done for a good sword. Now, the price of this sword, if I'm not mistaken, as a differentially hardened sword, I think this is probably in about the 400 range. John, if you're commenting on this, put it into the comments what the price of the sword is. I don't recall. All in all, guys, this is a pretty nice sword. This was just a detailed review. I am going to be looking to cut with these swords as soon as I can find time, and more importantly, just get myself another cutting location. So that's been my struggle of late, to kind of get the time and the place where I can cut with these things. But I have a couple swords that I am going to be testing, some tatami mats, and doing some cutting tests on them. So I'm going to get you that video as soon as I have it. But for now, this is the Seiryu. Okay, this is the blue dragon katana from Cloudhammer Steelworks. Another really good representation of a nice katana replica. Beautiful looking sword, very tight, tight ito, very, very comfortable scar, beautiful castings on all their pieces, and an equally really very, very good polished through hardened blade. And it's a really good quality 51 CRV4 German spring steel that I've cut with before, and believe me, it handles cuts, handles bad cuts, brings back into place, and it's balanced. It fits into the hand pretty well. And yeah, here's another good one from Cloudhammer Steelworks, guys. Thanks for sticking around for this video, and I'll get you some more cutting videos as I can get out there and get on cutting. So to the next sword and knife, guys. Thanks for watching. Joe from Steel Forge and Fire Sword and Knife. Much love, peace, and respect to you all. And don't ever forget our veterans. Hashtag 22 a day or more. Veterans, you always have a place here. Have a good one, guys. Peace out. Ciao.